Okay. All right. It's working this time. Yay. Thank you, YouTube. Oh. All right. So, all right. I don't know. Maybe I just moved. I have all my cats at my feet. So I don't want to really roll the chair around, you know, for fear that, oh, and Joshua wanted to join us. So if you made it back, actually, maybe I should go to the other video and put this link. Yeah, in case people clicked on that from like Twitter and dang it, I gotta go change that on Twitter. So here's a link that works. Paste. All right. Yeah, I should totally fix the Twitter one. So let me do that really quick. Sorry about that. Dude, I didn't do anything and I didn't fix anything. I did a magical restart. And Jupiter. So I guess I can ease into this while I'm, all right, let me get the link. YouTube. Sound issues on that link. Right here now. Okay, so what up, Nat, Joseph, Casey, Shiitake? Yay, you made it over here. Cool. And I guess you can hear me. That was weird. Anyone want a pancake taco? Fucking Joshua, you're so adorable. I took this, well, these are the last of them, but I took this batter out when I had house guests, and then we forgot to make them because who can get up that early anyways? So I've just been munching on them. Butternut, ginger, pecan, with peanut butter. Oh yeah, because it's delicious. All right. Sorry, that was weird. All right. So how do I give you the good news? Jupiter earned a new nickname. They're piling up. So he's Jupiter Trooper Skywalker Lebowski. His new name is Diggler. If any of y'all were around in the 90s, early 90s, then you know who Dirk Diggler is. And I got videos to prove it. So he's probably going to be a daddy because there were 2 boys that weren't fixed. And then after a whole bunch of, you know, gay sex, I realized they weren't gay. And it's okay. So Poseidon now identifies as Persephone. Dude, it's a cosmic joke. I swear to God, the universe tattooed balls on her. So we all thought she was a boy this whole time. So I've been calling her a boy. I've been calling her a boy's name. But she's actually a girl. And she's probably going to be a mama because Jupiter is a freaking superstar. And as always, I said he's the one that always figures everything out. and he figured out how to be a daddy. And I actually, what are you guys doing now? Oh, you got my crystals down. So secretly I wanted more kitties. and it's because what's the point of having a clean, raw, unpoisoned line if you're just gonna stop it, right? So I think that's why the universe tattooed balls on her, and faked us all out. And yeah, so hopefully we'll have some babies in May. All right. What up, everyone? Persephone, Percy, who used to identify as Poseidon, is down here with Jupiter. And you know what? They actually love each other. Like, they like hanging out. They run off to play together. Yeah, so it's not just like wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You know what I mean? He is kind of like porn star-ish, though. Definitely. Stamina-wise, just like the other cats weren't like that. No. Not even their daddy. Fucking Jupiter. I love him. I love them all. They're awesome. Oh. If you're wondering how kitties get pregnant, I might have posted a couple videos on my YouTube page. I mean, Facebook page. All right. Enough of that. I've been wanting to do this topic for a while. So today, I guess, is a good day. Sorry, I haven't been here for a while. I guess I'll kind of update you on some things I've had. Oh my God. House guests, like the best. Oh, and I probably haven't done a show since everything's been painted, right? Have I? And the lights keep going in and out because I unscrew them. I don't like it so bright, and apparently I didn't unscrew it all the way. Let me see. Did my last video, did I have everything painted? Tell me, because if not, I'll get the webcam and point it around. No. Okay, well, good. Triumph over evil was my last one. Oh, wait, but I did show in the Food Forest update build video that nobody watched. All right. Here you go. There's my ceiling. Oops, with the sun in the center. I got those walls, or whatever, that wall and the short one are green. And yeah. So I've been kind of busy just trying to do house stuff because I know when spring and summer starts, I'm going to be out there forever. So I'm out there as much as I can be, unless it's like too wet or windy or cold or snow or something. So we moved a shed. I had the best house guests in the world, and I held them ransom and said, you can't leave unless you help me move this. So they ran out and they're never coming back again. Can't imagine why. And then, and then we built the goat shed, and other beds. So all those updates you can see with your own eyes, most of them, because I've actually done more updates since the video, but whatever. So that's where I've been. I'm sorry. I want to be here, but I'm still I've been tossing around. I think I have a clear game plan now, but I've just been like, dude, told you so. Told you. Like, what else can I say? Like, how many times do I repeat the same thing? So it's like, it's hard to get excited about repeating myself to an echo chamber. You know what I mean? So, but I am feeling re-inspired, and I'm gearing up to get back in radio for reals. I guess I'm feeling the whole spring come alive energy, and yeah, and just talk more, about with real people and real topics and real ways to improve. And, I realized when I was in the garden yesterday, I was thinking, well, what could I even talk about? I've talked about everything in the world already. And nobody listened then. What's the difference, right? Like today, I actually listened to a show I did last February, before the panic demonic, before lockdown, before anyone knew anything about the vaccines. I told you it was a RNA modifier. I did I did that show the very day they announced who had the contract. Okay. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like, that's why, like, why even talk? Nobody fucking listens. Nobody cares anyways. But yeah, so I decided as I was nipping at my weeds and stuff in the yard, like, well, maybe I can just talk about these kinds of things. And there's a few people who want to know. Yeah, so I am going to do that. And if you have any like real life guests of Triumph, I don't want politics bullshit, celebrity bullshit, fucking, poor me bullshit. Like, I'm just done. I'm done with powerlessness. I'm done with, like the whole who can be the biggest victim thing. I'm tired of people who are fucking offended by everything. I'm tired of fake people. I'm tired of repeating myself. But a lot of the videos that were stolen, erased, taken down, and never to be seen again, they were a lot of the herb materials and stuff. So, I'm not by any means going to try to be the encyclopedia for everything natural health. My main focus, honestly, is motivating people to do more for themselves. I've already showed you it can be done, that you can accomplish and overcome anything, and what it looks like before, what it looks like during, which isn't pretty, and what it looks like after, right? So, we need more balls. We need more people that are going to stand up and do the fucking right thing and quit going along to get along, because I just can't respect that. And not that's what this show is about, but I just felt like ranting about it. And I guess that's part of my struggle of why I'm not here often. I mean, and again, I'm taking care of 13 acres in a house and by myself. I get visitors once in a while, and I get a little bit of help once in a while, but you know what I mean? I'm the person. So that's a full-time job in itself. So if I'm being fulfilled doing this, why would I want to be unfulfilled with people wanting to burn me at the stake still? Again, yeah. So, but I'm kind of getting over that, because I do see the need. I've listened to some of my past shows, and I do have value. That's not the reason why I'm not here. It's just that I get frustrated that other people don't see my value. And so what's the point? Again, preaching to the choir, talking to an echo chamber. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I will definitely do what I can to share all things self-empowerment. I'm not going to pretend to, sugarcoat things. I haven't, and I'm even less able to do that nowadays. So if you don't want to kill me, you'll get that straight truth. It's not because I'm judging. It's because I've been there. And I learned, and sometimes you just need that simple, straight shot to, like, wake up. you know? And that's what's crazy is people don't respect the wisdom that's easy or comes easy, right? They only respect what they pay for. Case in point, they didn't pay for this chair. Yeah, right? So of course it's a perfect scratch pull. So yeah, ChristieAphrodite.com. I will be starting to schedule shows here really soon. I'm not going to do it 5 days a week. You know, why? Again, you know, you're not paying my bills. So that's the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? Like I get fulfilled in some areas and I don't get fulfilled in other areas. So obviously I'm going to choose the areas that fulfill me, right? And if I do feel appreciated, energy exchange, whatever, whether that's visits or gifts or financial or whatever it is, but I have to have that back or I've been giving to a void for 17 years at my expense, right? So that's, I'm just being honest. That's like, again, why. So, all right, let's talk the topic. After I light this, are there any more updates? I had killer visitors. My house partner came home. We got a lot done. Everything's painted and you can see it all. And most of the design build, I've been getting branches and 2x4s and stuff for the chicken coop. So the fence will go in next. And that's really cool and exciting. Yeah, just watching all my dreams come true. And actually, somebody asked, they wanted to know my personal story, like how I built this or this vision and all of this stuff came to be. So I might get into that too. I'm sure. I mean, I know all the names I see here now already know because you've been here, right? But for new people who don't know, I mean, dude, the journey's there. I was living a normal life. Then I got my ass kicked. And then I went through trials thinking I would never make it. And now here I am living my dream in a nutshell. So, and it definitely didn't happen with unicorns and rainbows or what are they called? Sugar daddies or regular daddy, or you know what I mean? It was like I lived in a tent and in my car and worked minimum wage jobs and put 10 or 20% of my income in a can. And then years later, there was a down payment and a best friend that somebody I could trust to do this with. So, it's not like some rags to riches overnight or anything. It's a lot of hard work and dedication and staying true to my path and what I knew was real and avoiding all that wasn't. So that means I had to say no to all the lures, the traps, the fake, B&Bs, all of that shit, right? I had to say no to the comfort. I had to retreat and get to know myself and win that war within, right? Like most of us are stuck fighting a war outside of us and somebody else, right? Because that makes us feel better. And then, we're so busy doing that, we don't have time to look at ourselves, right? But I chose to do that. And if you want to choose to do that, I'm pretty sure sharing my journey and all those videos and stuff, my self-love journey, my trauma healing journey, all of that, I'm pretty sure I might be able to help a little bit along the way in your journey of self-empowerment and finding out what real self-love is, okay? Not that frivolous, me first, whatever, whimsical desires, right? Not fucking narcissism, not fucking gluttony, not fucking laziness, not excuses, not, you have to learn to detach not just from the world and worldly things, but labels, diseases, right? Dis-ease, you gotta, yeah, so there's a lot to it. And, that actually kind of goes along with the topic and obviously the question about my personal journey and how I ended up here. But living in the country and living in the city, obviously, are two different things. And so that's what I want to talk about is everybody, like even people I went to school with or grew up with, like people are finally realizing not so crazy. And they have left their homes in the cities to flee for the country. But what a lot of these people don't really realize when they get there, it's not the same from where you came from. And you better not try to make it the same as where you came from, okay? Because country, if you're moving to the country, it better be because you love the country and because of all of its differences, right? You know, if you're expecting to have a 7-Eleven or a Pizza Hut on every corner and, you know, you're going to call cops because you hear your neighbor shooting a gun and you're from fucking California and, you know, you just, yeah. So we're going to talk about all those things. I'm going to light this up and read the comments and say hey and thank you all for being here. It is good to see your names and your little faces and the little icons for those of you that have faces. And for those who don't have faces, what do you have? All right, just kidding. Okay. All right, Nat, Shiitake, Joseph, Casey, Derek identifies. Chat. They don't want me to chat with you. What do you mean they don't? Wait, what am I missing? Oh, can I call you? I don't know how you would. If you have Skype, then I could turn on my Skype and we could talk how Casey did that one time. Yeah, sure. Let me know what you'd like to talk about. And if you have Skype, let me know. And fuck it, we'll figure it out after I at least get partially into the topic. Joseph. Okay, kitty porn, yep. Jupiter the tripoder. Yeah, I fucking respect that guy so much. He's crazy amazing. You showed us your sun. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but did I show you my moon? Julia! All right. Brian, how's it going? DJ, Rosie. Okay, I'm getting through. Everyone, I valued you before we met online. Aw, Truther Girl sent me. Thank you, Rosie. Yeah, obviously I'm not, you know, when I speak like that, I'm not like, obviously I'm not talking to every one of you, right? Clearly, you guys have been here, but, you know, yeah, I wouldn't trade my learning for anything, but it's definitely not easy, you know? Sometimes you have to say goodbye to your family. Dude, my daughter showed up in one of my groups and wanted to bash me for supporting an anti-mask protest because what's the difference between that and seatbelts? Pills work. And that's why they got them on pills immediately. Mm-hmm. Yes, they do destroy your capacity for thinking and introduce entities. And it's just the way it is. Alcohol, TV, GMO food, bear, 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 bear. My beautiful boyfriend, bear, 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 say hello. Hello, my fluff ball. He's definitely the best makeout partner of the bunch. He's definitely into foreplay. He doesn't just like walk up to his sister and bite her neck and fuck her. He goes, ooh la la. Oh, and look, he's massaging my thighs. So he's definitely the The lover, the Casanova of the bunch. Okay, let's get to this spliff. And yeah, I do want to thank the real people that have been there and valued me. And even people, you know, especially those of you who believed in me before I did. You know what I mean? It was a crazy journey. And that's why I'm so passionate about trying to help remind everyone else how powerful you are too, right? We've already, when I first started in radio and talking shit in public, that we already did the nuts and bolts, like the vaccines, all this stuff. This ain't new. The sex, I exposed a sex trafficking ring. This isn't new. This isn't shit that I'm like forwarding on Facebook. This is real life that I lived. And you know, we did the nuts and bolts kind of shows. So again, now that we know, what can we do to live a better life? Because honestly, there is this like group of people who believe that freedom means you could just do whatever you want without accountability. Oh, and everything's free. No. Freedom is self-responsibility, and it's also emotionally and spiritually. You have to heal that trauma, because if you're still caring about what other people think, or trying to go along to get along, or belong to a herd, or get people to like you, or hiding yourself, or, you know, on any capacity, you are not free. You are still in your mind prison. You break out of your mind prison, and I guarantee the world is a totally different place. I'm not making this up. You guys have seen me cry, you know, woes of trauma and depression, and I can't, and I'll never be able to, and poor me's, you know? Yeah. So it does look different on the other side of healing. So your main focus really should be on pleasing yourself and fulfilling your own heart's path, right? So we already know that. That's why we're here. Because only people that already knew that would be able to tolerate listening to me. Oh, I love you so much. I'm gonna have more kitties. Oh my God. All right. So a lot of people think that, you know, we fantasize of moving to the country, living a life of peace. Everything is all just about beauty and birds and butterflies, and everybody's so friendly and happy, and you know, it's just a kickback, easy way of life. And to some extent, you know, there's some truth in there, but it's definitely not, it does not come without effort, right? So, and there's varying degrees of country. So, you want to be 5 or 10 minutes from a store, or 20 or 30 or 45 or more, you know, or an hour to a city. Like, and, you know, when I left San Diego, I never went back to a city. In fact, Branson, and although I did not live in the city, at under 10,000 people, that was the biggest city I had lived in this whole, you know, time. Like Homosassa, Chazahowitzka, all of those places I lived were tiny, you know, town country. I mean, not as country as this, or maybe even where I lived in Washington, but yeah. And even when I was in Branson, I wasn't in Branson. My last house there was the most city, you know, it was like a neighborhood. And that's the last time I lived in a neighborhood. Yeah. So once I got out, I decided I am never going back. Everything changes. So from your outlook on life, from your ability to tune into nature, therefore learn more of who you are, right? And the ways of nature. It teaches you self responsibility and, what people refer to as prepper. It like living in the country, it's just a way of life. It's called self responsibility. You know what I mean? Because when you're in the country, things are different. It's not like when you're in the city, there's always, they want the city stuff going and city hall and businesses and stuff. So they're always the first to get the power back on, right? In storms and whatever, rolling blackouts and things like that. So in the country, if you want to have a successful, happy life in the country, if you're not already a good, responsible, organized planner, like if you're one of those people that has to go to the store every day because I forgot this or that or whatever, you're not going to enjoy living as remote as I do, because there is no just running out for whatever, unless you really just want to spend all day driving around because, you're avoiding your responsibilities at home because, a magical rainbow is going to land and do all the work for you. So that's another thing. Speaking of doing all the work, whatever the work is, there's work all the time. When you're on a piece of property, like there is literally always something to do. And if you want help, it's not going to be as easy as living in the city or just going to the Home Depot and picking up a few guys on the corner or people in Craigslist. Or it doesn't work like that in the country. People are either busy with their farm or crackheads hiding out that don't work, right? Or retired, senior citizen. So the kids, if there are kids, like there's not a lot of kids around here, maybe 20 or 30 minutes away. But if they are, they're already living in a self-sufficient homestead. So, you can't just like hire the neighborhood kid to go mow your lawn kind of thing. So these are just some things you have to take into consideration when you're moving to the country, right? Like you have to plan better. It's like, so for me, I go shopping once a month. I just, try to get all my errands done in a day. But when I have cats to fix and all that good stuff, that gives me an extra day going to the other side of town. So I can go to like the feed store or the hardware store or something. And I like it that way. I liked it that way in the city too. Because I don't like to run out of things every week or 2 weeks. It's always been weird to me. I mean, even before I was a mom, but especially after I was a mom, like I always made sure I had extra. So if something was on sale, I just bought extra of it. And that was like our food storage. So when things happened, like when I couldn't walk, and I had no income, guess what? I had a whole bunch of food. So it wasn't a crisis and we didn't starve, right? Things like that happen. I also had a bunch to give to other victims of floods or things that went wrong, right? So to me, that's not prepping. It's just called being responsible, and that's part of country life. If you're going to be dependent on everything and everyone, like you're going to run to the doctor for a bee sting or stupid things like that, then I'm sorry, that really the country is not the place for you, right? And I mentioned before, if you're moving to the country, you have to do it because you love that lifestyle, right? You like the last thing you can do is go to the country and expect to change it and make it like where you came from, right? Especially those of you who came from California and Chicago and other big communist cities. You know what I'm saying? Like, city people just naturally are not as self-responsible. And I've been there, done that, grew up in the suburbs. I didn't know how to do anything. Any little thing that went wrong, I just call someone else, right? And, I didn't have a dad to teach me how to do plumbing or things like that. So, I mean, don't beat yourself up if you don't know how to do, it's not expected for every human to have every skill. But I would have been all right having a couple extra skills other than just hanging out in the mirror and the gym and doing what I'm told, right? Aww. 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 I hope you don't mind. Pussy takes precedence. Mm-hmm. Hey, Dominic, how's it going? Joseph, bring your own beer, right? And pussy. Do you know that people are watching you be all beautiful and soft and fluffy and oh, do you know? Do you know how beautiful you are? Oh man, you really are. Okay. This is bear, 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 bear. Bear, 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 bear. Skinwalker Shadow. Yeah, he's the shapeshifter. Well, I'm sure they all are, but he's so obvious because we see it. Like right in front of our eyes. Aww. Okay, so when it comes to self-responsibility living in the country, so again, you're going to be the last person that's going to be tended to, say in a storm, a crisis, a power outage, any type of weather, whatever emergency. So it kind of goes with the territory to, have some backup, whatever that is, right? A generator or fire or gas or the ability to do something other than turn on a power switch and cry if it doesn't work. You know what I mean? So that's like just part of living in the country. And again, when you do live, away from the cities, stores and things like that, if you even do have one anywhere near you, they're not going to be the same quality and caliber as what you'll find in the cities, where exotic foods are, just a dime a dozen kind of thing, and you can get whatever you want pretty much at any given time. So you have to take that into consideration as well. And that's why most of us, or many of us, do something to be self-sufficient with the land, whether it's gardening or farming or animal tending or even just boarding or, harvesting the rock or the dirt or the trees or whatever. So it's common for people to work the land in some way. And while it's more kind of community, it's also less to a degree too, because you got to understand the people that live in the country are also there for the same reasons you moved there, to get the fuck away from people, right? So there's, don't let your feelings be hurt when everybody doesn't want to be your friend. It's not that there's something wrong with you. It's that they moved there for the same reason you did. And, so we're, I think, a lot more real, a lot more direct, a lot less, city, fake and stuff. It's like, you know, if a city person doesn't like you, they're still going to pretend they do and then go talk shit about you behind your back, right? For the most part, country people are just like, they let you know right in front of your face. And that's awesome because you know what you're dealing with, right? So I was talking to somebody recently and they're like, yeah, you really need to talk about that, because they thought that they would just go to this beautiful place in the country and everything would be all charming and easy and everyone would want to be their friends and the kids are all going to play together. And it's, you know, if you are, and you will be a part of the community eventually, kind of, but you got to understand, in places like this, like there's generations of people, you know, that are here after several generations, and they've also seen a couple generations of people coming from the city trying to change it to their ways. So, you know, they don't really like that so much. The newcomers, they kind of stand back and let you prove yourself, right? So it's just the way it is. It's like even in Branson, and I was building that front yard garden and my neighbors were sitting outside drinking their beer with a black hat and white bold letters, FBI. I'm just like, oh my God. Drinking like Natty Light and laughing at me. It was the craziest thing they had ever seen. You know, somebody, and you know, I'm a fruit and nut from California, so you ain't gonna grow anything around here. That's literally how they treated me in the beginning. And I get it, because, you know, who are you, right? They don't know. And you know what? It's kind of their territory. It's a little more theirs than it is yours or mine, kind of. I mean, not now, because I'm like here and this is my home for life kind of thing, but you know what I mean? And in areas like this, they do see some fly-by-nighters or vacation home people or, you know, just visiting from the city, stuff like that. So yeah, don't cry if everybody doesn't just rush on over to go be your friend. But when push comes to shove and you need something, a neighbor is going to be there. It's like they have this magical radar, like they just know kind of thing. And they got shit done because they have skills that we didn't have living in the city or the suburbs, right? So, all right, let's check out some comments. I picked up guys at Home Depot. Yeah, you did. Who hasn't? I built a wooden box for compost and it rained for 3 days. Nice. Rain. I put a whole bunch of seeds down and some new bulbs and stuff, and it's been raining since. So I'm super excited. There's the pear, peach, cherry, apple. Hello. Some of the bulbs, tulips, lilac. Hi, bear. Forsythia, blueberries. Yeah, there's cute little baby buds everywhere. And oh man, it's almost spring. And that's another thing about living in the country. You're tuned more into the seasons of nature than when you're in the city. And it's always like, you know, you have the energy and lights everywhere and, you know, every day is kind of the same. I mean, at least it was in Southern California, especially without weather changes. You don't know when winter is or summer is or when you're supposed to rest or not, or, you know what I mean? In the natural flow. All right, let's comment. Where are we? Oh, did I miss a few? Oh, I guess I missed a few. Show the yellow hallway. If the webcam, yeah, just watch my last video. It's the food forest update, but I bring you in the house and show you too. So, okay, wait. Okay, I just missed some of those. That's all right. All right, Julia, we had a power outage for 8 days during an ice storm here in Oregon. It was pretty crazy. We had to go to my parents' house 2 hours away. Wow. Do you mean like recently? Like when the Texans and a bunch of other people were kind of out of power? So like, yeah, I know you're not like right in a city anymore, so you're less important when it comes to turning power and things like that on, right? Like when I lived over this area in that storm where I was out for 11 days was out for 6 weeks. Yeah. It's kind of normal, right? And if you're one of the people in charge and you have to power a city hall and a hospital versus a few dwellings in the country, who are you going to choose? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like a normal way of life for people in the country to have some kind of backup plan. And if you're interested, we can talk about some of those ways to keep you warm in your house and those types of crises and such. But yeah, just let me know. Sunny. All right. FBI, you mean female body inspector. Oh, maybe that's what it was. That's hilarious because they are so not the FBI. You know what I'm saying? So that might have been what it meant. I didn't even know that was a thing. FBI, female body inspector. That's hilarious. Sunny, I just told my Nazi cut mother off. Please pray. Oh, good for you. I mean, I hope that, you feel better by getting that shit out, right? I'm sure that you didn't say anything that wasn't absolutely necessary. So, all right. Joseph, I've been newly named a perp, right? By a perp, of course, because they're the only ones who say that. Right? And that's how they take or deflect and take the attention off of them, right? So accuse their victim. No one with a brain falls for that. They just don't. Only fucking mind-controlled MK Ultra victims. Okay. She's not very bright. Emily, what's up? What recipe do you use for soil in your raised beds? So I don't do things like other people. And I know that there's recipes and perfect equations for seed starting soils, things like that. I don't do that. I do everything by feel. And when I moved in here, I had only what I had. So I used what I had. And that's everything from the soil I was able to get delivered to peat moss and mulch I was able to buy, compost I was able to buy, and then grass clippings, leaves, hay, so I just did it until it felt right. I can kind of tell if there's too much clay, and then I even got sand, and so I don't have an exact recipe. I just go with the flow. And fortunately, my intuition always tells me the right thing to do because my gardens always kick ass. So I've found that recipes and formulas and rigid rules like that don't really work well for me. But that's, I'm kind of dreamy and delusional and in the clouds. So I just directly talk to spirit. And in fact, that even goes along with one of the questions about how I built my homestead. The truth is I'm letting it tell me what to do, right? I'm letting it tell me what to plant where to put a bed, where and how to do it. Where the chicken coop, where the goats, where all this stuff goes. when I first got here, I had a vision. I'm like, oh my God, the road goes there and the campsite's there, this and that. And after I'm here, that vision is the same, but it's creating itself through me listening to it. So I could tell, like, you know, the trees and things like that weren't taken care of. So I've composted and mulched them as well. And yeah, so I feel, dude, my soil this year, like compared to, well, I haven't even been here a year, but when I first got it and then it rained and it wasn't draining and it was killing and choking everything. And oh my God, it was devastating. And I had to rush and get amendments for it immediately. But now I could just stick my hand right in that soil. It's all, oh my God, it's so full of worms. It's so everything. Oh, and what else did I do? So I kept putting compost, kitchen scraps from my kitchen as I had it, right? So it wasn't just grass clippings and mulch, you know, wood clippings. It was tree trimmings, branches, leaves, carrot top, you know, everything, all of my natural kitchen waste. And when I say all of my natural kitchen waste, I literally mean all of my natural kitchen waste. So I know some people are super against putting like bones and things like that in there. But dude, when I boil, say, a bone broth, the bones, you could just squeeze them, you know, they turn to dust with your fingers. Of course you can put it in your soil. I even put real fish, you know, raw, and the carcass and the skin, you know, so I don't put, like, say, mayonnaise or like a pepperoni pizza or Rocky Road ice cream, you know what I mean? But anything from the kitchen. So, and that's all I had to start with. So I just kept throwing that in there and mixing it. And right now, it's just insanely rich and soft and just, I am so excited. And just to see all the babies I have. By the way, I was able to overwinter my greens. So that's kale, shards, red Asian lettuce, cabbage, and another Asian green, I forget the name of it, with, okay, carrot, celery, of course, garlic, you know, and onion, that's whatever, normal, easy. What else? Radishes. So fortunately, I got all that mulch in time and had like 4 inches or so on top of everything. But before, when I didn't have it, I composted everything in place. That means all my tomato vines, all my corn, all my squash vines, all my cucumber vines, all my pepper plants, every single thing, just I composted it right in place where it came from. And that was the peas, the beans, that's all part of me building the soil. So when you move to a place, the soil should, if you're doing it right, get better as time goes on, right? Where we hear about soil depletion and this and that all the time. But if you're actually working in harmony with nature, you're replacing everything you're taking all the time. Like, I've planted red clover, I've nourished the weeds that, you know, and just creating this symbiotic relationship with everything out there. So far, so good. I mean, you know, I kind of did this before, obviously, but just on a much smaller scale. So, and here's one thing. So we're in March. I literally picked my last tomato from a live plant that was planted in May, that I took a branch to put in my pot in the house just last week. So yeah, with all that other stuff growing, and fortunately there's lots of weeds, so there's plenty of greens and, you know, salad stuff right now, beets, and I planted buttloads more. So I'm excited about that. All right. So that's also again, that goes along with the topic. So when you're moving to the country, what are you going to do? What is your self-sufficient thing that you're going to specialize in? Because a lot of the country people, they want to know what their neighbors are doing or what they can get from them or what they can trade with them or whatever, because, well, again, it saves us a trip to the city, right? And I think there's more of a support the community atmosphere where versus city, it's, you become accustomed of this life of convenience. Like one of the places I lived, I had every type of food within a mile, like, and the beach, and, and sushi, and burgers, and softball, and music venues, and liquor store, like every dance, everything right there. And so if you're used to that life of convenience, and you expect that in the country, you're going to be kind of miserable. In fact, I do know people that have moved out here and thought that it was going to be this big, beautiful, peaceful thing. And then they get out there and they're like, oh, well, what do I do now? Well, do you? How about that, right? Do you? But most people are afraid of themselves, truthfully, deep down anyways. So that makes sense, because when you're out in the country, you're gonna spend more time with yourself and nature. And so all of the introspection that you're avoiding in the city and the suburbs will be amplified out in the country. And that's why a lot of people that, if they're not farming or doing things like that, they do end up on a lot of alcohol and stuff like that because they're bored and they don't know better, and they, so find a hobby, right? And that's where, again, self-responsibility and self-sufficiency comes in. So is that gardening? Is that crocheting? Is it building something? Is it whittling sticks? What is it? Are you digging a pond? Are you, building a food forest? Like, do you have a million cats with more on the way? You know what I mean? So you kind of have to think about all these things before you just go straight from city to country, right? So let's see what recipe. Okay, so no recipe, just like my cooking. All right, during the oh, darn. Yeah, all right, Julia. I'd love to hear what you learned in this little fiasco, and what you're doing to prepare for next time. No. All right, trying to talk my children into vaccine. I'm assuming you're saying your mom's doing that? Yeah, well, tell her to suck my dick. Mom, Christie wants you to suck her dick. Okay, sorry. Anyway, I've had good and bad experiences reaching out since I'm no longer homeless. All right, my intuition is high. Yeah, homelessness will teach you a lot, for sure. And, because you have only your instinct, your intuition, really, to rely on in a lot of cases. So, good. Okay, the most high, amazing things are coming on. It's 4:20 somewhere. All right, thanks for the reminder. Julie, I can relate to that intuition as an artist. People ask you how, and it's hard to explain sometimes. It just is. It feels right. You just know. That's exactly, Julia. Like, yeah. You just know. Like, I have written design plans for other gardens I thought I was going to have, and they're like flat yards, and that was really easy. This, I didn't do any of that. Like, I already knew the colors. I already knew where everything would go. It was just, I don't know. It just comes to me, and it, so far seems to be working out all right. So I trust that anyways. So whether I'm delusional or not, who gives a fuck? And that's where we all have to be. You know what I mean? That's where the magic is going to flow. Like when you quit caring what someone else might think, you know, and if you're an artist, you've already been beat up and told you suck a million times. So are you going to believe it, or are you going to just go be yourself and suck as much as you want to suck anyways, you know? And that's frankly where I'm at. Like, I don't really do anything perfect, but I'm doing something. And even if I put a fence up and I didn't wire it incorrectly, well, guess what? I put the fence up. Did I know how to put a fence up? No. Did I, you know what I mean? You just do it. And like nature tells me, hey, grab this little branch and stick that there. And you can use this to weave the lattice in. And, you know, just, yeah. And I knew when I saw the branches for the chicken coop, I'm like, that is the perfect branch. And I got it in there. I had to break a couple pieces off and it just fit right in there. And yeah, just whatever that is, trust what that, you know, that knowing inside of you, everyone really always, that's when you know you're in the flow and that's where the magic is. And don't worry about explaining it to anyone or anything. Just do it. Yeah, I heard somebody say once, it's better to be finished than to be perfect. And I totally related to that because I had the perfectionist disease where I could never be finished with anything because it was never good enough. And then I finally realized I just had to be done. Okay, it is good enough. Like, in whose eyes? Because ultimately, isn't it only us that needs to be okay with whatever we're doing at the end of the day? So why are we wasting time worrying what someone else might think? Somebody who wants to fucking criticize you to feel better about themselves anyways, right? Why do we care? And dude, Julia, your art is so gorgeous. Wow. I was blown away when I was looking at your site and they were just like pages and pages and pages. Yeah. So good job there. That's amazing. Really. So dang it. What's that site? You're going to have to like tell me your site in the chat so I can say it so other people can look too. Hilton. I'll just butcher it. So, okay. But yeah, beautiful. All right. Oops, I just skipped a bunch again. Okay. So, what did you do for the beds on the hill? Did you just plant on top of the hill and pour soil on top and put sides up to keep everything in place, or did you level the bottom? I haven't leveled anything. That's why if you see the beds, they're like say a foot in the front and maybe only 6 inches in the back, or 2 feet in the front and like a foot or something in the back. I just decided to work with it. I don't have a tractor or the ability, and it's all limestone, rock, crazy shit like that. So yeah, flattening it and things like that, I think would just be a waste of time. So how my 4 large beds over there came about were, and you can go back and see the videos from the very beginning. First, they were piles of twigs and sticks and leaves and branches from the trees chopped down. And then they were either a dirt pile and a mulch, or both. In fact, the 2 big round ones and the Pac-Man ones were both dirt and mulch piles at one point. So I think I had dirt, mulch, dirt, in that one pile. Dirt, mulch, dirt. Yeah. And then I started throwing all the compost there. And then when I think the end of the mulch load went there, then when I got the next dirt load, which was the Pac-Man bed, then transferred dirt in there, and again, more mulch and the compost to kind of nourish that. And yeah, the logs all just came from trees that I chopped down. And in other places, I just put the dirt and mulch and just when you dig a hole to plant a tree, you're going to end up with enough rocks to basically put a circle around the hole, right? So I just used those same rocks, and then I started gathering them for bigger ones. So this one area, it was the hanging pumpkins, but after that, I compost, because that was just the dirt and mulch. I didn't really have compost in there because it was going in the bigger ones. So then I started throwing all the compost in there and composted that in place, and then covered the leaves and mulch. And now it's just delicious, beautiful soil. And when I expanded it, so it was round, but then the area where I only mulched to kill the grass and put cardboard, I ended up turning that into the next compost pile. And then I just went on top of that. So in the area that is now the potato bed, that was the compost pile most of all last year. So it was compost, twigs and branches, cardboard. Like I threw all my cardboard and paper and stuff out there with it too. Leaves, branches, and then it got mulch, dirt, mulch. And so there was mulch put on it earlier, so that could kind of decompose and stuff. So yeah, the dirt, and then it's covered with mulch again, and the potatoes are planted. Yeah, so the hay bed, that was almost all branches until the dirt. But those branches were literally, since last May. So that's, wow, 10 months already. How exciting. So all of the beds pretty much, except for the initial ones that I just built and threw dirt in, happened that way. They were a series of dirt and mulch dumps that I shoveled to feed everyone else. And then that part that was pretty much dead where the grass was, I just turned those into beds. So the last bed, the Pac-Man bed, is pallet wood, just holding the little Pac-Man. And right now I'm just putting branches on the outside. I went on a little rock and branch collection yesterday and the day before, but today was too wet. So I'll find all the materials I need. And now that I found a perfect fence I could wrap around. Oh my God, that round one. So that was a 50-foot fence roll, and it took the whole 50 feet perfectly. It fit perfect. So I'm going to get a bunch more of those and try to protect the area as much as I can from the kitties, because I really love them. But I tell you, when I see them digging up my hard work and expensive trees and things, I want to kill them. So, all right. So yeah, nothing's been leveled. And the first beds I did, it was cardboard. And then when I ran out of cardboard, I bought canvases because I thought that would be better than plastic. And that was like to kill the initial grass. But now, so when I first moved here, it was all perfectly manicured grass, but now I have weeds everywhere and trying to grow more. So I have like my yarrow coming up. There's buttloads of dead nettles and chickweed and things like that. There's some dock and lots of bittercress. A few dandelions, not that many yet, but it's been nice to replay. Oh, my mullein's doing great. And I found some more mullein that somebody wants to dig out of their garden, and they said I can have them. So they're kind of big. I don't know how well I'll be able to transplant him, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to try. So, all right, trade Triangle Kush for watermelons. Are you Triangle Kush? Do you have Triangle Kush? I have watermelons. Actually, right now I only have watermelon ice cubes and dehydrated watermelon, which is bomb. All right. Joseph, you're being hit with radiation all day, then go somewhere where you're not getting hit. And I don't know if you have considered this or tried it, but I was told long ago that these high-powered magnets can at least sometimes deactivate certain ships, especially if you know where it is. So that was something I did when I left San Diego, and I had to like kind of tape it on for overnight. I don't even remember how long it was, but I don't know. It seemed to help, and I don't know if it will for you too, but yeah, maybe it'll help. I hope. All right. You did a good job. Thank you. Well, I didn't build the shed that's going to be the chicken coop. That was already there. It was over on a different part of the property. And when my friends came to visit, and a local guy, we just used some of the 2x4s and stuck them underneath and literally picked it up and walked it down the hill. And it was super insane, especially the fact that I was like the youngest person doing that. But we did it. So I didn't, the shed came with the property, and I just, who's going to use a shed all the way over there anyways? So my neighbors, actually 2 of them have metal shed chicken coops. So I thought, well, that's kind of free. So I'll have to cut like vents in it, and then obviously drill all the branches and 2x4s and all of that. But I have it kind of set up. I mean, it's not really set up. It's just kind of the way I emptied the van and drug the branches, just to kind of, because I have to just kind of sit with it for a minute. And okay, I'm going to change that. This will be better. So I'm just in the sitting period. So, all right. Bradwick, how's it going? Art is never finished, only abandoned. I love that. Isn't that the truth? Like my damn ceiling. Yeah, maybe I did show the ceiling, but not the walls, but whatever. Okay. Carmen K, how's it going? Hi, Christie. Would you please post a link to the video where you talk about how you got rid of fleas on your cats? I wasn't able to find it. Let's see. I'll just talk about it to make it easier. But as far as finding it, I know I talked about it in a live video, and it was one of the cat lady videos. So let me see if I can find that, because that'll probably be more extensive. But then I'll also just tell you how to kill fleas. Because actually I talked about it in some other videos too. So it'll be hard. Let me just find the one that I know is for sure. How we solved all our kitty problems and other stuff. Copy. Okay. So here's the link. It's called How We Solved All Our Kitty Problems and Other Stuff. So that's more extensive. But in a nutshell, the easiest recipe, most universal recipe, really, cedar oil and water. Pretty simple. If you want to add other things, like say you have ticks and chiggers, you might want to consider adding some lemongrass. And if I spray the house and the cats. So my house spray is different. My house spray is clove, cedar, alcohol, and water. But I don't use the alcohol or clove on cats or dogs. I use it on their bedding, my bedding, the carpets, whatever, the door, the light at the door where all the crazy bugs want to fly in, your outdoor carpets, things like that. That's what I use. And that basically, the cedar clove combination with alcohol gets rid of everything. And they will kill fleas as well. But just don't spray your cats directly with it. There's also this other thing called, what's the name of it? I gave it out in one of my recent videos. It's this enzyme stuff that works as a cleaner, but also a flea killer. Yeah, I don't remember what, it's downstairs. So on my current kitty spray, I use the enzymes, the cedar wood, and water. And that works for everything. Like, it literally will kill them on contact. So those are simple recipes. There's also many other oils, say thyme, myrtle, basil, things like that. But a lot of those are repellents, whereas cedar and clove and thyme and the enzymes and alcohol kill them on contact, like dead, like literally dead. And any other bug that dares fly in your house is also going to die. So I was shocked actually at how, once I got that figured out, it worked. So also little things like sprinkling DE around might work. Citronella is another good kind of repellent, and repellents are good, right? Especially if you have that shit planted everywhere. But repellents aren't foolproof. I want to kill them dead because they're jerks. So yeah, and they don't have any purpose but to piss me off. So yeah, so hopefully that's good. There might be more information in that other video, but basically all wood oils at least repel pests. So including ticks, well, not all ticks, but lemongrass is a nice foolproof for ticks. Yeah, so, all right. I hope that helps. Okay, who gives a fuck what they think? Don't waste one moment or 1 unit of energy. Exactly. Thank you right now. If people want to look, it's all on Instagram and Facebook until I get off my butt and do a website. Okay, AUSA. AUSA. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that. AUSA Julia Artist is her Instagram page, okay? It's beautiful art. And you know what? We should be supporting artists and art and just, go admire her on Instagram. You may find I know she has Facebook pages and she's not going to tell us because she's not a public person. And I'm sorry if I'm embarrassing you, but you know what? You're somebody who's expressing through your heart and you're sharing it. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And we need more inspiration like that. So if you're going to show me how badass you are, I'm just going to have to tell people. Sorry. Sorry, Mama Bear. I've taken all the real knowledge. I can't use heat, H-E-T-E, heady, heat, due to human armadillos. They destroyed my little garden. Oh, gotta Exodus, but we'll be going through the whole book of Mama Bear. All right, Garden of Eden, welcoming rainbows. I can't use H-E-T-E. I'm not sure what that is, but I know what you mean by saying human armadillos. Okay, having animals is such a love annoyance relationship. I love them so much, and I'm excited. I'm going to have more. I hope. I hope I'm going to have more. I guess I shouldn't assume that, but with all of that, there's got to be a baby in there somewhere, I have to figure out what enzymes. I tried DE, but it didn't work on cat. Yeah, I think that cedar oil and the cedar essential oil is like the best to put on the cat. I would put the DE, I would just sprinkle it around. And the problem is when it gets wet, like if you're using it outdoors, it no longer works. So, sprinkle it by the doors or something in the house. How many drops of oil? Well, so I use, I got some bottles over there. Let me see how big they are. They're like 24 or 32 or something. Yeah, 32. So get like the chemical tolerant spray bottles, because if you buy like the cheap ones at the grocery store or something, they're not going to work very long. So in a 32-ounce bottle, if you were just doing cedar and water, then I would probably use like 2 to 3 ounces of oil to fill up a whole bottle like that. Maybe 2 ounces, but yeah, 2 to 3 ounces, I think. And if you have ticks, I'd probably put 2 ounces of cedar, 1 ounce of lemongrass in a 32-ounce bottle. The enzymes, I don't know, but I know for sure that I put the name in that video, and I think the last video I did. But I'd have to look it up and open the other browser, which I don't want to do when I have this one open, especially since I had that issue trying to do the video earlier. What's the name of those damn enzymes? Yeah, I don't remember. They're kind of expensive though, honestly. Like a gallon was almost like $100, but you can get the essential oils. Like if you go to bulkapothecary.org, you can get it by the pint, the quart or more, or gallon, or, basically by the pound. So you don't have to get the fancy, expensive essential oils when you're, to spray in the house and pets for bugs. So, yeah. Okay, I can't. Wait. Oh, I missed a whole bunch again. Okay. Okay, no problem, Joseph. Yeah, so when I first picked up my cat and she was like full of fleas, yeah, I took her outside and I just put DE all over in her skin. And then I sprinkled lavender essential oil. So the fleas would naturally want to jump off because of the essential oils. So if you're going to do that outside. And then if there's DE on the ground, they're going to jump off on the DE and die. But yeah, putting it on and keeping it on a cat, it's more of a temporary thing. Like if you're taking a cat home from a shelter or something like that and they're completely infested. But other than that, it's best to just like have on the floor or carpets, Yeah. So, all right. All right. So I'm glad I didn't embarrass you, Julia. I have very good essential oil, including cedarwood from Rocky Mountain Oils. Yeah. Well, good oil is great, but if you have like as many cats and spray as much as I do, bulk apothecary or like, you know what I mean? Cheaper, because yeah, I had to buy it by the gallon because I'm not ever going to be out. I'm not going to get caught with my pants down like I did last year. You know what I mean? That was horrifying, traumatizing. It was everything terrible, and it was really like a horror movie. So I'm just gonna kind of keep up on it. In fact, I sprayed the house today. I sprayed the cat trees. I spray the doors. And, like I said, the cats I'm not using the lemongrass yet. The ticks thing was kind of a surprise. I thought for sure after the ice and snow that they'd be dead. No. Yeah, I literally had to clean or pick off 2 ticks from Pluto today. So it looks like I better start making my lemongrass spray again and make the kitties hate me by spraying them again. But, they're super sensitive to smell, so we don't have to make it as strong for them as we think we do. And as sensitive as kitties are to smell, fleas are even more sensitive, right? And they're that much smaller. So yeah, I hope that helps, because it is a nightmare dealing with that crap. So, and this is also good to discuss as far as, the topic, city versus country. Seems to be a lot more bugs in, well, at least country areas like this in the city, because there's more biodiversity going on. There's usually more water and standing water and things that they're attracted to, right? Because the city is sterile and concrete, and you know what I mean? You don't have yellow flies in Chicago, or yeah. Hey, Love Cat, how's it going? All right. Yeah. All right. Need pheasants. They eat thousands of ticks and will roost in your woodlands. That's true too. So yeah, my neighbors that have chickens don't have ticks or chiggers anymore. So, but they said they don't eat the fleas, but you're saying, oh, okay, the ticks. Yeah, I don't know if there's an animal that eats fleas. If you know of any, let me know. But yeah, I'm just going to keep the immediate yard and stuff sprayed with cedar all year. What do you do? I'm not going through that torture again. But yeah, so if you can get, I'm surprised. I'm a little surprised that ticks are, I am too, because everything we always heard is you just need a hard freeze and they'll die off. That didn't happen. So I don't know where they were hiding or whatever. They weren't in the house. They were brought in on their bodies after they went outside. So I don't know, maybe in the little caves or shelters in the forest, or maybe they just hatched, or I don't know. But I have seen a surprising amount of ticks since the freeze, and I hate that. So ticks and possums are tick eaters? Oh, pheasants and possums. Okay. Oh, cool. Well, I have a possum that hangs out in the yard, so maybe that's what he's doing. A pet chupacabra doesn't get fleas. Oh, it's not working for Joseph. So I'm working on the chicken thing now, Love Cat, but it's a little wet, and I want to get the fence, even though they're going to free range, I still want to get the fence up down there in the main flattish part, because I'm going to get a couple hens that are already laying or about to lay, in addition to the chicks. And since they're already hens, and might be traumatized from being moved all around, I want them to kind of know their area before, they just start running up and playing on the freeway. Bye, Joseph. Yeah, so as soon as I get that fence up, then the chickens will be here, and hopefully they will free range and eat every single tick and chigger on the property. But then I know that'll be a fight too with my garden beds, because I know they like to do that. But I want to plant them kind of their own little garden down by their coop too. And then hopefully that'll, like, I have to plant the kitties. I have to plant them their own garden too, because I think that might help keep them out of mine. And just like, I have my little catnips coming back and stuff, but as soon as garden stores start getting it, I'm going to buy like 10 plants and stick them in this area and just say, here's your garden, jerks. Leave mine alone or I'm going to rip these out. So hopefully I can make a deal, with the owners of this property. They just let me stay here. So chickens destroy gardens and possums eat rattlesnakes. Well, that's good, because I actually haven't seen one since my cat made that one bleed. I'm not offended if you're talking to, I hope you're not talking to me. I know, my own daughter went and talked shit on me on Facebook, because why won't you just wear a mask to protect other people? I mean, how is it any different than wearing a seatbelt? How many of you put on a seatbelt to protect other people? Sorry. Yeah, it sucks. Family dynamics, and I've gone through a lot of tears, though. Let's see, we're in 21, so it's been 11 years. Yeah, so yeah, I never managed to grow catnip in a pot. The seeds don't sprout. Huh. On Pinterest, I saw motion detection sprinkler to scare off pets from... Oh! Emotion... Oh, that's good. So, I was thinking I was just going to get a super soaker, like one of those big old monsters, so I could reach him, right? Because I'm like running after him. I have to drop what I'm doing, and I'll just get a strap, put it on my back, and put some peppermint oil in it, because they hate peppermint. And I'll terrorize them. So eventually they have to give up, right? Your grandma said that same thing about masks and seatbelts. Wow. It's just... Whatever. I keep myself healthy to protect other people, and asymptomatic sickness is horseshit, and the science is out there. Absolutely, Bradwick. Right. Yeah, you know what? I want you to start juicing to protect me. I want you to grow a garden to protect me. I want you to take high doses of vitamin C and D to protect me. Oh, you conspiracy theorist. Okay, so you want me to stop breathing for you. Ain't gonna happen. It's just not. Oxygen is actually pretty cool. You should try it. You might be able to think clearly and realize that a seatbelt and a mask, even if a mask did work, it still is not the same. Yeah. So All right, so what else do we want to talk about? So, things that you should know when moving to the country after, say, a lifetime of city life. Well, I would really love to hear about what happened with Julia in her lesson and what she's doing different to prepare for the next power outage. Um, it's not, yeah, when you're in the city, you just don't really, you're used to having everything all the time. But when you're in the country, you're not the first people that people want to go save. So, like having, again, like batteries or solar panels or generators or fire or gas or things like that are just, it's kind of a way of life in the country. Um, but there's also things you can do just without any of that, literally. So if you do lose power, then, I mean, first of all, you want to contain yourself to a smaller area, right? So let's say, like in a house like this, upstairs, downstairs, I contained myself down in the living room. So I even kept the bathroom door closed. So just like living room and kitchen, and closed off the apothecary. And not that I had to, but I wanted to, because it's just good to practice those things. And, it's better to already know you can survive before you have to than to figure it out as you go, right? Because that's usually not fun. But, okay, so you want to kind of even think of it like gardening. You want to kind of build a microclimate in your smaller space. So you can do that by literally, like, coming as little children and build a blanket fort, right? Or if you have a tent, you can set up a tent. And even putting, like, say, a lantern or mylar or something in a tent with a blanket over it in your house, even in the city or wherever, that's going to keep you warm enough to, your body heat. You'll contain it in there. So if you have more people in your household, say you have a bigger tent or whatever, cover that up with blankets. Layer the bottom with blankets or cardboard or whatever. If you do have sheets of mylar, remember, like I did in my tent in Washington, put those on the top. And then let's say you don't have a lantern, you don't have any other heating device, but you have a tuna can and alcohol. Remember that? That was all of my heat and cooking fuel, practically most of my homelessness, right? So, I mean, if you have a lantern, just a regular propane lantern, then that works great too, especially with the mylar. I was warm in my tent, right? So there's that. Also, if you can light a fire, say if you have a fireplace or wood stove, obviously that's easy. But if you can light a fire outside, then burn rocks. I don't know if y'all remember when I was in Florida and we had that freeze and everything was going to die in the garden and people lost a lot of plants. But I burnt rocks all day and I found like an old metal sink and I went and freaking put them in the greenhouse along with a bunch of, what are they called? Jugs, like water jugs filled with water, trash cans or whatever of mulch, right? And put that in buckets, and that keeps things warm because the mulch is already steamy, right? So, and let's say you're in like a rolling blackout or whatever, and you don't have the ability to light a fire outside for whatever reason. Like in my case, the wood was iced to the ground. So I only could use the wood that I already had in the house. Even the wood that I put on the back porch was iced to the porch. So, if you say you're having rolling blackouts or whatever, turn your oven on or whatever when you're like, say you're in Texas and you don't have, or California and you don't have heat or something like that. And you could put those same rocks in your damn oven and then take them out and put them in your small space, whatever that is. And obviously you don't want to put these things on the floor and stuff. So hopefully you have some like hard tiles or, like be responsible. So, what else? I mean, right there is enough to save your ass alone, right? And with that same tuna can and that little bit of 91% isopropyl alcohol, you can cook on that. Like a freaking, make a quesadilla. It's like a burner, kind of, right? So if you follow those instructions, you would not freeze in your house in a power outage, right? So things like batteries or battery chargers or stuff like that, it's nice to have those things, right? But not everybody can just go out and buy marine batteries and an inverter and things, or even a solar generator or things. They're kind of expensive, right? So you have to focus on the basics, like what, right? And so your basics are warmth and food, right? Anything else, if you have extra money to get inverters and solar generators or things like that, go for it. But yeah, and also, what kind of generator are you going to use? And is it gasoline? Well, what if you can't get gasoline? I just talked to my friend in Texas today and they have no gas in their city. Like the pumps are empty. I don't know what's going on there, but you know what I mean? So is it propane? Do you have it in stock? Like, is it diesel? Do you have that in stock? Like, are your marine batteries charged? Are they, So things like that, you kind of want to think about what's going to be the most affordable for you and your family, and the most important. Obviously, if it's winter, you don't have to worry about losing your food. Summer, that's a different story. Like if I really don't have any good advice to survive a summer power outage. I mean, other than a generator or expensive things like that, or just deal with it, right? So thankfully I do have a generator so I can run the fridges and freezers and stuff, and I guess I could run the AC, but it'd be nice to not need it. So, I mean, other than like the obvious, go to the lowest, darkest, coolest place without a window, right? Because glass magnifies everything. That's why even on a winter day when it's 30 degrees outside, you can be next to the window and it feels like 70. So, yeah, I do want to figure out ways to keep cool for a summer power outage, but I'm not quite there yet. But if you have any advice, definitely let me know. So, all right, comment time. Less than 1% succumb to exactly. They still haven't even proven it's, isolate the virus and then we'll talk. I'm just playing by their rules, you know what I mean? They're the ones that taught me all this stuff, and now they want to take it all away and rewrite, science. And I missed that memo. So, all right, my Frorona. Okay, Super Soaker, yeah. Bill Gates won't be telling me how to live. Oh, geez, we need to buy a generator there. I know. Now you know why I had to do the credit card, and it just kept adding up. But I thought that I'd rather have it and be paying interest on it than not have, and not need it than need it and not have it. You know what I mean? So you just kind of have to weigh those things. I have been an anti-credit person basically my whole life. But then what would be the point? Oh, I can't use this credit card. Well, if I can't protect all that work, all that harvest from my garden, that's, then what's the point? So seatbelts actually work as opposed to masks. Yes, seatbelts actually work, but they don't protect other people. So, but good point there, Derek. All right, about my mom. Wow, a generator 2 years ago. They cut off the power in Julian. Wow, every time the wind blows. Your mom lives in Julian. I love Julian. I miss Julian. That was cute. Yeah, wow. Yeah, they've been having power outages. And when I grew up, we were having rolling blackouts down there. So it's, and that's the thing, growing up there, you think it's normal until you get out and find out it's not normal. But yeah, there's so many people living in those situations that don't think about, what if I flip this switch and nothing works? What about water? What are you going to do, right? So I hope if you lost power maybe for the first time in this last few weeks of winter or whatever, that you're really, making the changes, are necessary so you can withstand the next one. And there will be a next one. And it will probably be longer, So get your priorities list maybe, and then kind of knock those out one at a time. If you don't have a whole bunch of food in your freezer, then maybe that's not as big of a deal as it would be, say, for me, who, and if I didn't have all this food in the freezer, then, that I could totally live without power. Obviously, I did it for how long, in a car and in a tent and, So, but yeah, think about what's absolutely necessary, what's important to you. And another cool thing to do is just pretend, like, right, when my power went out and came back, I'm like, or I'm just going to pretend it didn't come back and go without it, because it's been a while since, in my privileged lifestyle these days, I haven't really been without, except for when I was on the road trying to find this place. So I think it's good to just, practice and respect and appreciate and find out what's important. So for me, when I kind of bundled myself downstairs, I couldn't use the fire because I only would have had enough to go to the night, and not through it, but probably to it. So fortunately, I had the gas already on. And then I have a gas stove, but I had already made a big batch of homemade noodles, chicken, bone broth with homemade noodles. So I just ate off of that. I brought a bucket and toilet paper right next to me, so I didn't have to open the doors and let the heat out, and, had some books. I have little lights, either those round ones with the push or the little mini lanterns in each of the rooms. So when the power goes out, there's one of those lights or a flashlight, super nearby. So if you don't have any of those lights, or those cheap little push button ones, get them. Or they even have those little mini lantern sets. You can get a whole bunch of them for relatively cheap. They last forever. They give a bunch of light. Yeah. So Aldi's supermarket had a special buy. Okay. Wow. All right, about solar phone charger and a propane camp stove. Perfect. The generator I'll buy this summer. So on your propane camp stove, I'm assuming it's one of those that takes the 1 pounders, right? So if that's true, and you can let me know to shut up in the comments or whatever if it's not true. But if that is true, you want to get the hose adapter for like a 25 pounder or 30, get a much bigger one, because you're going to go through those 1 pounders too quick, and they're like $7 a piece these days. You know what I mean? Where you can get like a 25 pounder for $40. So, and that lasts a hell of a lot longer than the 1 pounder. Plus you have all the waste, and what are you going to do with the cans? So yeah, get one of those adapter hoses. It's like $30 or something. And then you can hook it up to a big one. And then you don't have to worry about running out of that. Okay, so reference the hay bale forest hut. We have some solar here too. Nice. We have off-grid camping gear too. Awesome. Yeah, dude, like a camp shower. That's a good thing to have, right? Or even if you just have a camper with a shower, because campers are always equipped with propane. If you're, sometimes there's like $600 campers, right? I mean, for the stove, shower, and toilet alone, it's kind of worth it. Okay, we don't have any way to burn wood. Okay, yeah, so you might want to just, if you want to do the tent and shelter in place thing, a couple pieces of Mylar, a tuna can, and some 91% isopropyl alcohol. I swear, I know it sounds crazy, but it'll take care of you. And then candles for light or whatever you need, right? Ooh, I just saw lightning. Speaking of, that was right when I said that, it just flashed. That's cool. All right, so we have a burn barrel, white gas, and propane stoves, lanterns, and shower heater. Awesome. I don't have a shower heater. That's cool. All right, Joseph's back. Yay. I'm back. I am sensitive. I don't want to. I am misunderstood here. I don't know. If I misunderstand you, it's only, I don't actually think I do. So if I have made you feel that way, or, I'm sorry. That's definitely, I hope I didn't do anything to make you feel that way. Water's our weak point. Yeah, the desert, backpacking stove. Okay, burn barrel is a good idea. Yeah, totally. My husband suggested that, but I don't know where to get a barrel. Dude, at like my local hardware store has it, like little fire rings or something, or I don't know what your yard or what your setup and stuff is like there, but they're pretty, yeah, check your local hardware store. It should be pretty easy to find. Yeah, and Biochar for the garden. Awesome. Yeah, I got a bunch of ash in my fireplace that I was going to end up in the garden. Yay! We got ours from an appliance recycling place. It's a washing machine barrel. Nice. Yeah, there's a barrel out on the property, kind of in the forest. I just need to drag it this way, but these should be pretty easy to find, I think. The local hardware store, or just ask them, they'll know. Okay, this can't stay down for the whole 10 count. If you aim a flashlight at a clear water bottle, it lights up the water like a glowing lantern. Yeah, there you go. That's smart. Hose adapter for the stove. Got it. Yeah. So it's a whole hose, right? yeah. And then just go buy one of those 25 pounders of propane and you'll be much better set. And my homelessness, I had 2 of those. So as soon as one got empty, then I went and filled it, but the backup was always full. So I don't know if you need 2, but it wouldn't hurt if you can afford to. Yeah. But have you lived without power with 12 cats? I've never lived without power with 12 cats, and I only have 7 right now, and the loss of power was short-lived, and they were totally fine. I think the only thing they didn't like is that I wasn't in the bed and they couldn't all be on top of me. I was on the couch, but they've got their spots, and it was nice. Where are all these little people? Oh, they're so cute. I have the new mommy right here. Identify oak. Best heat, best burn time. I'm not cutting down any of my big oak trees yet, but I will eventually. Yeah, I burned. Well, a lot of the wood was just from the property, so I'm not sure, but the wood that I know I burned, because the only trees I've cut down were the Bradford pears. The wood didn't really last that long, but it was super nice to have fires. And then the older wood there, I have no clue what it is. A little bit of everything. What's an Okadine? Wow. Evil D, what's up? Okay, we have 3 generators and a large wood pile. Awesome. Washing machine, drum barrel has nice perforations. $20. Excellent advice, Love Cat. Thank you. Fireplace and a wood stove. Oh my God, I would love to have I miss having a wood stove. Wood stoves are awesome, but fireplace is awesome too. So yeah, but I just love having a pot of hot water like on the wood stove all the time. And yeah, good. Never cut down a live oak. No. Nope, I definitely won't. There's one that it didn't look that healthy. So, and even in the summer, while everything was nice and green, this one was brown. So I'll see what happens to it this year. But if it, looks diseased, I'm going to have to take it down because I don't want it to fall in my house. So there are a few within range that, they're like 60, they're huge. They're super tall. So they're definitely within range of bashing this roof in. In fact, it would literally fall right here. And that'd be crazy if I was live, but I wouldn't be alive for long. But then you could say you saw me last. All right. My rabbit doe Violet is going to give birth tonight. Oh, that's so adorable. I want to see baby bunnies. Oh, your wood furnace goes into the main ducts. Awesome. My fireplace has a blower. So that's pretty cool. Like I said, as long as I have enough wood that's already inside. So I realized how dumb we were for not buying a house with a fireplace. It is really nice to have. I definitely have missed having a fireplace. And, they don't build fireplaces in new homes anymore. So it's easy to not have one because none of the new builds come with them. Kept the house at 72 degrees in sub-freezing weather for 8 days back in later 2005. Awesome. Wow, 72. I don't even keep it that warm, like, ever, I don't think. I mean, unless it's hot and I don't have a choice and I don't want to turn on the air. All right. Lots of emergency light bulbs that come on when the power goes off. Also a small solar panel. Excellent. All right. Wood stove or furnace, so much more efficient. Those fireplace racks with a blower are nice too. Yeah, so the blower works without electricity. It just like gets to a certain temperature and then starts blowing. It's pretty crazy. So at first when I turned it on, I'm like, oh, well, this must not work. And oh, maybe I'll go online and try to figure out what kind it is. And it did. But then like every time I've used it, I just let it sit on for a while and then it just turned itself on. Like, okay, I'm warm enough and time to go. So yeah, it works pretty well. We have a friend of a friend who they burned down their kitchen with their fireplace during the power outage because it was dirty, I guess. Oh my God. How do you get that dirty? I mean, that's crazy. Like, don't burn your house down. At 72, it's easy to tell when the fire starts to go out. Yes, heat-powered fans. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so the house was equipped with, important things. And I'd like to switch the water heater to gas, which of course will require a little bit more line work or pipe work or whatever you call it. But it's worth it to me. So if we could do that, I don't know. Yeah. And then just a solar well pump, then I'll feel pretty good, because yeah, I'd be off grid. Like, yeah. We have a gas water heater so you can have a warm shower in the freezing house. Well, that's good. That's important. I mean, especially if you have water, right? Assuming that your water pump is, because if your water pump's electric, the gas water heater ain't going to do it. Except it will be full of hot water already, after you run out of water. So just use that water. But for summer, passive water heating is good if you can. Black pipes on the roof heat the water. Nice. That's smart. Yeah. I also have a friend that has his water heater outside on the ground. So laying down like this, not standing up like that. And he put it in a cage with glass facing the sun. So he doesn't really actually have to pay to heat his water because it's already always hot. And I think he painted the water heater black. So the water heater's black and it's laying on the ground under the glass, which keeps it warm. So even in the winter, so he pays like nothing really to heat hardly anything to heat his water because it gets heated up naturally already. So. Nice. Well, I'm glad you had hot water even though you couldn't get your water. Okay, so what else can we talk about? City living versus country living. Is it all fun and games? So yeah, a lot of people think you're just going to move to the country and then a garden's going to appear and you're just going to have, like this paradise of orchards all around. And that's not quite true either. So I think another one of the main differences is in the country, you kind of try to make your land is your job, right? Whereas if you're in a house in the city, you probably have a job outside the home and then, aren't talking about all this weird stuff. But when when you're nurturing land or whatever, there is always something to do, always something to build, always something to clean, always something to improve, so the focus on having a nurturing home, I think, is more prevalent than a lot of people who just live city stuff because they don't spend as much time at home, so I don't know, maybe just don't care as much or whatever. But, some aspects of self-sufficiency, most aspects, but at least some for everyone is kind of it's a way of life. You know what I mean? So we make trade-offs. Like a lot of city people wouldn't want my life because, well, how do you survive? You don't make any money. It's like, but I do all of the things that would require money if I wasn't doing them. Right? So, and I have peace of mind and pride in what I'm doing and building, right? There's like an investment of me in everything. I didn't just like buy some perfect house and some garden and like everything's already done, it gets built in baby steps and, literally baby steps. Sometimes I can only move a dozen bricks. And you know what? They're all one at a time. And guess what? That's okay. And sometimes I feel like I can't do anything. So I don't because I listen to my body and that's okay. Right? So it's kind of a more natural lifestyle. And then, of course, where you're surrounded. So, like in Washington, this was crazy. It's West Coast fucking city people. And I'm sure East Coast city people are just as terrible, but it was West Coast when I was in Washington. And they'd say, oh, I want to get out of the city. Then they'd go to the country and then they'd complain about how the country is. Like, they expect it to just be pretty and have this majestic mountain view all the time with a waterfall. And, they forget that they have to live in harmony with cougars and bears and coyotes and everyone else. And, what was kind of funny is they expected the animals to not be there, but they also expected you to not use guns. And I'm not saying shoot the animals. I would prefer to not ever. You know what I'm saying? But, so again, don't move to the country and think that you're going to impose your city lifestyle on country people. You're probably going to, around here, you hear guns every day. Every day. It's just the way it is. So if you're going to be all city and, call 911 every time you hear a gun go off, the country is not for you, Yeah. And if you can't live in harmony with animals and wild animals and your first response is to kill them or call a hitman, right, to have them killed, then you don't belong in the country. Right? So, all right. Gonna move to the country and eat a lot of peaches. Going to the country and go eat a lot of peaches. Peaches, peaches, peaches. Give me some more free peaches. But yeah, so, okay, there's a peach tree. Are the peaches free? Not really, because it's not going to produce if you're not taking care of it and giving back, right? And yeah, obviously things in nature that are never tended to produce some, but not, the squirrels are going to get it. Or if it doesn't have enough food, it's not going to have hearty, nice, ripe fruit, right? So the country gives you what you give it. You get what you put into it. And even more so, I mean, I realize like most of the work I'm doing, I'm not going to reap the benefits for years, literally. My work is an investment. And yeah, I get some food. And I think I had a pretty good summer harvest that I'm still eating, my herbs and tomato, and, so that's cool. But really, the longer you go, the more you put into it, the bigger output you're going to have. And it's not just food or eggs or just, feed me base things. It's the nourishment of your soul, okay? Your mind, your body, your soul. You can't just work on one of them without the others also experiencing benefits, right? And yeah, the work is hard, but I honestly feel like the more work I do, the younger I get. So yeah, there's that. So if you're afraid of wild beasts or guns, don't move to the country. Right? And definitely, yeah, just don't ever show up in somebody else's neighborhood and try to change it, right? It's just the same when cross a border and don't do that. If you go to cross somebody else's border, you respect their culture, their lifestyle, their norms. It's the same thing when you cross a state or county border or any other, you know what I mean? Otherwise, why would you want to be there? If you're there to conquer it, then you're not there for the right reasons. And it'll probably, bite you in the butt, especially in the Ozarks. It is the Ozarks after all. You know what I mean? So, yeah. Okay, so where are we? All right, just watch a new documentary called The Dimming about toxic aluminum being dropped on the planet. Yep. Chemtrails are delicious. So there are things, in fact, Bulgarian rose fights against the neurodegenerative factors or symptoms that aluminum causes. And then, of course, there's like seaweed and cilantro, frankincense, sandalwood. There's other essential oils and herbs, and you can actually find this. I have links on my site, but nobody cares and nobody goes there. And I'll even tell you where to go, and you probably don't care and you're not going to go there anyways. But PubMed.gov, Bulgarian rose, sandalwood. There's many essential oils and herbs that offer neuroprotective factors. In fact, in some of the reports that I have on my website, they actually purposefully poisoned people with aluminum and then healed them with a rose. And this is in a lab, peer-reviewed scientific journals. This isn't, me just making it up. So go check it out. Okay, country homesteading means not outsourcing. Exactly. And you learn more, like a lot of people, dude, it's ridiculous when you're like, oh my God, Christie, you do so much. And I don't know how to do stuff like you. And, I could not, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Let me just make that clear for you again. I don't know. I listen. I let the land tell me. I let nature tell me, and then I just put one foot in front of the other. That's it. And some things work out great, and some things not so great, but they're always learning experiences. And that's how I learn to do the things that need to be done, by just immersing myself and doing it. Watch some goddamn YouTube videos. You know what I mean? Ask your neighbors. Like, I have neighbors that have chickens and goats and stuff. So I'm asking them, hey, I've lived with them before, but I've never like owned them and I don't want to fuck it up. Do you have any advice that you'd like to share? Or what's the best feed? Or what's the best way to fence? Or what's the best, you know? And people who have done that often like to help. They like to share. They're excited by people who also want to get their hands in the dirt and be self-responsible and be a productive part of the community. You know what I mean? So the chemtrails don't fall on Christie's enchanted garden. There's a force field of cats that keep it protected. Pretty much, and rainbows. Don't forget the rainbow. But yeah, no, dude, I swear they chemtrail right over my house, like an X all the time. So, and maybe it's not my house that's the target, but there's not a whole lot of houses out here. So maybe any of the houses out here might think the same thing. But either way, they're so obvious and it's terrible. I had a military chopper fly over the other day too, like right there. I didn't know we had any military over here. Okay, chemtrails down. Yeah, but I like that idea, and I'm just going to keep putting that out there. I think I'm protected here. I really do. I think that rainbow is a big sign. I know that everyone that comes here wants to be here longer, and you know, it's always a good night's sleep and peaceful and restful and healing. So that's the kind of prison that I've been creating. You know, that's my sacred space. From the first time I walked in here, I just asked that everyone who walks through these doors will be blessed and, you know, on their path towards healing. So that's the kind of prison cell I want to make. Feral hogs. Let's see, ticks and armadillos. Yeah, feral hogs are a concern. We do have feral hogs here. We have basically everyone here, but pretty much everyone lives in harmony. I mean, coyotes walked off with a couple chickens before, and, you know, they have to eat and stuff. I get it. And that's another thing. Like, you have to be all right with death if you're going to live in the country, because a lot of fucking people, animals are going to die. You know what I mean? Roadkill all the time. You might lose all your pets. Like, dude, all of my neighbors are like, oh yeah, I had this many cats and they all died on the road. Or I had this many dogs, they all died on the road. I had this, you know, it's just a way of life. Your dog might get whisked away by a freaking mountain lion or hog or, you know, wild boar, or it happens. So you know, you have to just learn to be at peace with it and live with it. And life isn't so as rushed. You know what I mean? Like, because I don't care what time it is ever. Like, who really does care? I have, you know, as much energy as I have to get as much work done as I can do. I don't have to wait for the whistle to tell me when to start or when to quit or when to take my lunch, or, you know, but yeah, that's accountability. I have to be accountable to myself, because if I don't do those things, then something happens, and then what? You know? All right. Spirit multiplies the work of your hands, and exactly also supposed to respect our body. Totally. I am so positive that I definitely have help. getting a lot of these things done, you know? Sometimes I just like, how am I going to do this? And then I just quietly move forward. I really don't even know, but I just do it. And then it works. So I don't know. Spirit, I think, whispers what we need to do all the time. Live in San Bernardino and you'll hear illegal fireworks, gunfire, and ghetto birds 24/7. All right. There's a mindset to live in the country. City mind doesn't work out there. It really doesn't. It's funny to me when people, I know a bunch, you know, and they're like, oh, whoops, where's the Pizza Hut? Or where's the club? Or what do you do for fun? What do you mean what I do for fun? Fucking listen to the birds? I go fish, climb a tree, plant something? What do you mean? Nourish yourself? All right, follower of Jesus, King of Kings, welcome. Jesus is the only way to peace and eternal union with the King of the universe. It's all spiritual. The wild world lies in the power of the whole world. I guess you're saying world lies in the power of the devil. We can't stop what God prophesied. Jesus is coming back. I respect that. I believe Jesus never left, personally. But yeah, cool. Respect your beliefs for sure. Would I dare eat my 40-year-old koi fish? Would you? I guess it depends on how hungry you are. Oh my God. My neighbors have a pig, a pet pig that used to be this, and now she's as big as a cow, and she is so cute. I didn't even know pigs could even be that big. It's pretty crazy and strong and stuff, and you know, it's their friend. I think it's like 12 or something years old, and they're like, well, I guess if we had to eat her, you know, it'd be a little food. Can you hear that background noise? That's the rain. Wow. You have to hear that. Cool. We're getting a good storm. All right. Used to play the Peaches song in a band years ago. President. I don't know who did it, but millions of peaches. Peaches for free. Millions of peaches. I have peach blooms, pretty little green buds starting, and that was cute. Peaches and pears. Oh my God, they're adorable. Okay, sunny initials. Bulgarian rose, seaweed, cilantro, sandalwood. All right. Someone was listening. Yay. Glad the universe has grace for us. I've had the spiderweb-looking clumps fall from clearish sky twice. Wow. I touched them and they instantly disintegrated. There was no way to save them. Wow. So I want to hear more about that because there were these weird clumps coming down from the sky, like weird fungus looking things. And yeah, I don't know. It was really weird. It was nothing I had ever seen before, and everything would be fine. And then just plop, plop, plop. Like, I don't know. So yeah, I want to hear more about your spiderweb looking clumps. Okay, 5 military copters here. Oh, great. Definitely. Oh, you can hear the rain. Yeah, how could you? It's like pounding. It's awesome. Yeah, we do have awesome storms here. So have to move our peach trees. They have boring beetles, and the older one has hit its lifespan. RIP peaches for free. Oh, until we plant a new. Yeah, so the peach tree that was here before is a little older and didn't look that healthy. But the squirrels were happy. So I figure I'm going to kind of keep that, until it doesn't produce at all, just to kind of keep the squirrels out of the other ones. Yeah. But I hope, hopefully I'll get a fresh peach this year. They ate all the peaches and pears before they were even ripe enough to eat. And honestly, the peach tree, I think it had been so many years without any food or care that I don't even know if the peaches would have fully ripened and been good enough to eat anyways. But I'll look more into that this year. And I did feed it and mulch it and stuff to try to, let everyone know I'm here. I'm going to feed you. I fed the quince and the nanny berry and basically all of the trees that were here before. That's sad to have to remove your tree though. So, okay, all right, so you've seen the actual Morgellons falling, the fibers falling from the sky? Like I've seen pictures or in skin and stuff like that, but that'd be crazy. I haven't seen them actually like fall, and hopefully they weren't in those fungus thing looking weird clouds, whatever they were. So okay, what am I missing here? All right. Yeah, so what else can we discuss here in the city versus country living? I guess I could answer that question. Let me look that up here. Oops. Again, because it was literally asked today, and I'm like, I think I can fit that in the topic of this show. All right, so how did your homestead idea fall into place? How many years did you move toward that? Did you always know that was where you were headed? And okay, yeah, I think your journey toward that would be good for anyone that might be thinking of such. Sometimes it's not a straight line, and also it's hard work. Those two things, for example, sometimes are not quite understood. So, okay. So yeah, how did my homestead idea fall into place? So basically, way back, so I started trying to get out of, so I knew what I was living didn't feel right, but I didn't know what right was. So all of those road trips I did back in San Diego from 2005, 6, 7, well, yeah, 7 I was done. But I was looking for, where is my real home? I always knew it was something different. And sometimes I think I confused my visions with my memories. So a lot of my road trips were sparked because I wanted to find my real home. Even when I was in Branson and I was doing those road trips, I was still looking for my real home. I knew that wasn't it. When I found out that everything I thought I knew was a total lie. It just made sense to me to not be dependent on people that make profits off of hurting me. Once I started taking my health in my hands and got away from doctors and their damaging drugs and experienced success in starting to heal myself, that's when I found out Mother Nature was smarter than man. So, of course I wanted more of that. And I've talked about the one woman who suggested the massage therapist that was sent to my house that told me about dandelions. And she's like, wow, you're really toxic. You should go pick those dandelions in your yard and make a tea. And, so it was little things like that taught me that Mother Nature was smarter than man. So that obviously made me start thinking of what I would do and how I could do it and what would I need to learn to make it happen. So the houses, I had a small garden in California. I had a small garden in Utah, and I'm talking small, like in the backyard, but not even the whole backyard kind of thing. Just like Utah, I had like tomatoes, zucchini, cucumbers, peppers. Maybe there were some herbs, but nothing other than that, right? No onions, no nothing, not like today. So I started like that. And, I was still living in suburbia and stuff, my house in Salt Lake and, of course, San Diego. And then when I moved to Branson, the first house, or Branson area, the first house had a garden bed that was already built in the back. So I planted that immediately. But then when I had to look for another house was when we found the one with the 800 acres, and just two other neighbors there. So that was obviously a perfect opportunity for me to start gardening and learning more about food and wild edibles and essential oils. And that's ultimately when I started walking again and being able to do more. So as far as this actual place and vision, so in the back, dude, since I was a child, I always saw what looks to me like paradise on earth, or call it the Garden of Eden, or whatever you want, that I lived in a community with other people. I always saw that. I always sought that. And so when I was in the Ozarks and with people that had communities, I started to get to know some or look into other ones. And that's kind of when I learned that, community dynamics are not all they're cracked up to be. You have to be with some very mature, responsible people, people who take responsibility for themselves and people you can trust, people who do what they say and stuff. So I didn't find that, but I just continued and grew as much as I can. And then the last house I had was that, I had the big, beautiful cages in the one, but then the last house I built the big front yard gardens with the tornado debris and stuff like that. So I knew that wasn't my house, which was obviously why I went on the journey looking for the real thing. But 6.5 years without your own bedroom or real kitchen or bathtub, you kind of have an opportunity for lots of dreaming. And so, of course, who didn't want a water view in the mountains, right? So, you think you want those kinds of things, but you don't really think it's practical and that's going to happen. So as far as this particular place, that was a journey that I was taken on. You know what I mean? I thought I'd have some small little log cabin, in a forest, little different than this. But let me read those. How did it fall into place? So the idea, I think, was always there. How many years did it take me to move toward this? So when I left San Diego, so since 2007, it took me to, and I had smaller gardens before then, but not, to the degree when I left San Diego, I'm like, I am going to do this. I'm going to learn this. So yeah, I think I did always know that's where I was headed. And I think that's why it was so easy for me to walk away from everything else that wasn't true, including the fake B&B or the stuff in Florida or all the other lures or things that people would dangle or Whidbey Island or this and that. I knew that wasn't it. I didn't know what was it, but that wasn't it. So this house was supposed to be in Montana. I thought that, well, that's kind of a quick move. That'll be easy. And, who doesn't want to live in those majestic mountains? But somebody on the other side wanted that house. So they put impossible hurdles for the sellers that were already like in foreclosure and short sale. And then we brought it out of short. It was so much drama, but I'm so glad that it happened. So over a year ago, when I did that last show, I'm like, oh, I have to go. I'm going out for closing and, I'll be back in a couple weeks. Well, that's not what happened. We couldn't close again. That was the 5th time. So I'm like, that's it. I am not going home until I find my home. So I went through a few, even here. In fact, my stuff came up on Time Hop today, the one place that had a spring and a river and just, oh my God, it was amazing. And the hobby farm was already built and a pond. And that was kind of devastating because, that was like 3 houses, the paperwork and driving back and forth, the water quality, the tax, all the dumb little things that you have to do. In Montana, the realtor did everything. Out here, the realtor for this house did most everything and was on it. The ones before this didn't do shit. Like nothing. Like let you in a house to see it kind of thing. So it definitely was, like Mr. Toad's wild ride. So that's where this house came into play. And yeah, I always saw a vision of a bed and breakfast that I would be cooking for, and there's water in the back and a garden, and I'm serving my own homegrown food. And like, I've seen these things since birth. Like there were times that I was on road trips in my late teens with my mother, and we're driving up on the one or like Yellowstone area, like everything, Tahoe, and I was looking for my real house then. Like, is this it? Is this it? So I think that was my fascination with the road trips. And again, why it was so easy for me to say no to the lures that weren't it. I'd rather die trying to find my dream than living something that clearly was not it. So let's see. Did you always know that's what you was? So yeah, I think I always knew, but I do want to say, like in my highly programmed time, like my early or my teens and early 20s, I probably never would have been caught dead in a garden or getting my hands dirty or, I cooked, obviously I created recipes, stuff like that. So I did some stuff I do now, but yeah, I wasn't into getting dirty. I had zero knowledge about feeding myself, whether it was garden or fishing or, anything like that. I had no clue at all. So it wasn't until later when I really, after my disability, and I was forced in bed and forced to remember who I am, then it was like, oh, that's what I need to do. But how am I going to do that? I'm a poor single mother with no income. And, so then I was programmed with the idea that you can't do things because of who or where you are, whatever in life. And so while I did have balls to just pack up and leave in the middle of the night in a wheelchair with my children and dogs, searching again for a place like this in a moving truck, I still had the desire and the drive and the balls to keep looking. But yeah, there were definitely a few hurdles along the way. Yeah, so I love you, Mercury. Let me see if I answered those questions completely. Yeah, so I think your journey toward that would be good for anyone that might be thinking of. So yeah, sometimes it's not a straight line, the hard work and stuff. So yeah, as far as the work and stuff, it doesn't, yeah, it's hard work, but it doesn't feel like work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I used to recommend this. Shows I did 10 years ago, I would say, make your work your play, your fun, right? So, and same with your exercise. Like, it should all be interchangeable. Your exercise and work and fun should be the same thing. So, yeah, I guess it's hard work, but it's also meditative, healing, enriching, soul nourishing. Like, I mean, and it's exercise, and it's, so I don't look at it like, oh my God, I have so much work. I mean, sometimes I do, I guess, like, oh my God, I'll never get that, but not really. I'm just, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So I have to be patient with myself. I'm not 20. I can't really get out there and just like sling dirt all, for an 8-hour day or something like that. But I do know that every step I take forward, like 5 steps get accomplished. And yeah, so if it is hard work, it's definitely rewarding work on so many levels. So, physically, mentally, spiritually, on every level. So, yeah, I think I think I answered those questions well. Now, as far as my dreams and what I thought I did not think I would be, in something this grand again, of course, because you think of like practicality and how does a poor homeless, single mother or whatever, like, or a disabled homeless chick with no income, how does that happen? Like, you know what I mean? So did I foresee this as amazing and as much potential as it is now? I dreamt of things like this and thought it would be cool, but was it actual, practical and possible in a life like mine? And you know what? I wasn't going to sell out or suck a dick or, you know what I mean? To have a house like a lot of people do, So this was not planned. The idea and the self-sustaining food forest, paradise on earth, that's always been in the plans. How it was going to come about, that was just fucking random, crazy ride. I got in the wrong line at Disneyland, I think. So, but maybe it was the right line. So there's that. All right, I'm gonna get to some comments, and if you do have any more questions, put them in there now, down there now, because I think I'm gonna wrap it up. But I'll get through all these comments, and let's see, where am I? Okay. All right. Yep, that's the fungus, pure white, clumps about fist size, like thin cotton candy or spider web, float down from high. Dude, that's the fungus, pure white, clumps about fist size, like thin. Are you saying that's the same thing that has the morgellons in there? They are clumps like fist size, and they were kind of like white and yellow, or what, yellowish white, but no, they hardened up white, like a cloud kind of thing. And then one time I saw that and I'm like, ew, and I was gonna like pick it up, but it like disintegrated, and this like black dust from this white fungus looking thing went everywhere. So I was just like, trying to not breathe because I don't know what it is, and I couldn't find evidence or whatever as to what exactly it was. So when I saw those things, I would just try to get rid of them and then like hose shit down to like the powder or whatever that was touching everything. I wanted to wash it away as much as I could, kind of like, if you spilt like gasoline in your garden, you would just want to keep water and dilute it, right? So yeah, it was weird, but yeah, I literally touched it to pick it up, and it like disappeared like in this puff of cloud, smoke, dust that was like black. It was weird. All right. So yeah, if you have any more info, I want to hear that, Bradwick. All right. Dissolve. Okay. Dissolve when touched by skin at least, not a trace of it when it dissolves. People from commie states are moving here, and now they're trying to get us to change the name Dixie. Oh, brother. Isn't it fucking ridiculous, dude? If you don't like where you're moving, why move there? You know what I mean? No place is going to fit into whatever we think is perfect in our mind, right? At least not until we're healed. When we heal ourselves, the world looks much different. But yeah, I'm not a fan of people going and moving around and trying to tell other people, who've lived there forever, what they should be doing. That's, not cool. Float at the speed of a falling balloon. So wow. Yeah, as a suburbanite who cannot leave to the country, I say bring the country mindset to the city. Well, you're doing that, man. Yeah, and when I was outside of Branson in that neighborhood, I was kind of, I had a beautiful front yard garden, and, I tried to do that. Of course, most people thought I was weird, but the ones that knew me found out they were right. Yeah. They appreciated it. Like a locust invasion. Dude, that's what it felt like. There was something, I had never seen this before in any of my garden seasons. It wasn't on the farm last year at all, in any of the gardens or any other gardens I had here before. I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't like the looks of it. I didn't like the smell of it. I didn't like how it reacted when I tried to pick it up. So when I saw those, after that, I would just try to get like a whole bunch of mulch or sticks or leaves and like try to pick it all up together. But yeah, it disintegrates. So you can't really, it's not like picking up, an actual object and moving it in its whole piece. It just disintegrated. It didn't smell good either. I don't know what it was, but okay, the city prevents any mindset but the city. Medic, I still try. Bribes of colorful eggs and veggies help. Yeah, Love Cat does. She brings a good dude. Bradwick, you should go watch her videos in her beautiful garden in the city. It's way better than my front yard garden was. Like, she's really been there a lot of years and dedicated a lot of time and effort to it. So I think it'd be awesome if she, dude, if I lived, I would move to the city just to make you my neighbor. Like, that's how cool. I mean, not now, obviously. But if I didn't have this, I would move there to be your neighbor. Yeah, she's doing it. Grow food, share food. Nappy. I don't know nappy. Okay, so the best small thing to do for the natural world is to remove plastic and trash from it, no matter how small, right? So any plastic, well, I don't buy I have plastic wrap that I use, right? But other than that, if there's like this, for example, I bought cocoa butter and then I reused it, and I will reuse it for its lifetime. Literally, like, I don't dispose of trash and things, but I also don't buy a bunch of trash causing things either. So yeah, I agree with that. I mean, toothpaste containers, deodorant containers, all these things people buy without even thinking about it over and over. Like, dude, look at my videos before my homelessness, during my homelessness, and now. You will see the exact same things, the exact same clothes, the exact same furnitures, the exact same curtains, you know what I mean? The same coffee cup, the same water bottles, the same, like, literally. Oh, hello, baby. I was noticing, and because I've been reusing like spice containers forever, and I finally looked at the one that says pepper because I know I bought it a million years ago, and the expiration date on this container was 2012 on a pepper jar. So I'm pretty sure I bought that in like 2007 or 6, and I'm still using the same one. I've just been refilling the exact same containers all these years. So call me crazy, but I have a clean conscience, and I take care of my own waste, whatever that is, by, precious, reusing it, repurposing it, or just not playing those games and buying those things, because, once you have a container, that container can be my deodorant or lotion or whatever container for the rest of my life. So, all right. So that's the start if you want to bring that country to the city. Downwinder's mom won a class action lawsuit against the government because they said it was okay to look at the pretty colors of nuclear bomb testing, but we're sure the wind wasn't blowing in their direction. Wait, what? A class action lawsuit against the government because they said it was okay to look at the pretty colors of nuclear bomb testing, but we're sure the wind wasn't blowing in their direction. Oh my God. Wow. All right. Okay. Love Cat enjoys trash pickup efforts. Yeah, people do throw I have to pick up trash in my own damn yard. Like, people drive on the road or wind or whatever. Like, there were all these bags of fucking cheap cat food and litter things I would never use, and like diapers, and just, yeah, I have to, or monster cans, like people that throw shit out. That's lame. Yeah. Like, what kind of person do you have to be to do that and expect somebody else to clean up your waste? Not a good person. Oh, bear, 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 bear. Oh, he's my lover. All right. When I pick up stuff around here, I feel the natural world giving me oxygen and prana to keep going. We 4 times in the wilderness often and always collect trash too. One thing I currently revile is masks and gloves. Oh my God, cluttering my neighborhood. I'm guerrilla gardening a space at the end of my block too. Awesome! Can you hear that rain? That's intense. Yeah, so where's Go-Go Greta? Weren't we all gonna die if we didn't stop using single-use thing? Ow! There. Ow. Thank you. Kitty puncture. All right, sometimes they're random bags just waiting where I happen to go. Cool. All right, where? Okay, sometimes they're, all right, got that. So beautiful to see you bloom. Oh, thank you, love cat. It's fun to bloom. Exercise, work, fun equals permaculture, function, stacking, passion, anointing, work. Glad to see your dreams coming to fruition. Thank you. In line for the wrong ride at Disneyland. Yeah, the dimming shows tests taken from the air. It's got to be the same stuff. Wow, I am totally going to watch that. The dimming. Let me type that in here right now. Oh, okay, I just found it. Is it here on Vimeo or something? Okay, so I will definitely check that out, and I hope I don't see the crap that was in my garden in the documentary, or I'm gonna cry. Okay. Someone was shot 38 times. Wow. Okay, do I know? All right. Texas is just not California enough. Google exec once told me in a shelter, Texas is just not California enough. That's probably a good thing. And it's not California's fault. California is scary. You know, it's a beautiful place and there's beautiful people. But, you know, again, quality of lifestyle was a major deciding factor in where I'm going to live, right? Do I want to always live in a van? No. Especially when I can pay the same amount or less and live here. That doesn't make any sense at all. That's why I don't understand people still struggling and in areas where it's just not working out. You know what I mean? Like, just accept the handwriting on the wall. This isn't for you. There's something better, right? Oh my God, I got bear's hair. I feel all the little, I love you. Tiny hairs everywhere tickling my nose. Okay. All right. It looks like I'm caught up there. And cool. Love Cat put her link. Because, yeah, she's got some good stuff going on. But is there anything on this topic related that I didn't get to that you would like to hear or anything else before I go make out with my boyfriend here? He's just so adorable. Bear, 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 bear. And okay, so yeah, about the show. I am going to start working on the site again, ChristieAphrodite.com. I will be scheduling shows there soon. I'm kind of feeling like the solstice-ish might be my first show back or somewhere around there. And keep your questions coming, but I'm probably going to, at least for the spring and stuff like that, like just kind of walk around in my yard and see what weeds are growing. And then that'll be the topic. Or whatever medicine or something I'm making that day, that'll be the topic. Or, you know what I mean? And again, people with survival. What was that? Was that a sneeze? That was adorable, Thor. Journeys, stories of triumph, things like that. Let's hear it. We need more inspiration, I think, going on in this world. And really, what you pay attention to is just, you're paying. You're like paying with your energy, with your time, with your soul, So I just, Thor, I love you too. I just want to make sure that, there's a reason to listen to my show, right? Like that I'm not repeating the same old boring, or, I'm definitely not going to be dealing with news and politics or paying attention to all the stupid things that people want us to. If something, is relevant and can teach us something about self-responsibility or moving from self-loathing, self-loathe to self-worth, right? Or self-hate to self-love, then we'll do it. There was a question on the channel a while back about TI love advice. So that is also going to be in the pipeline. And I can't remember what else, but I will definitely be here more often this time. I promise. But I got a lot of shit done. You know what I mean? In winter. So, yeah, I want to thank you all for being here. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. I hope that you are all happy and fulfilled and warm and well-fed and focusing on your dreams. Just every day, move a step or two in that direction. And you can't fail. You absolutely can't. You have no choice but to meet your goal if you keep walking towards it. So please keep walking towards it and live the life of your dreams, not mine, nobody else's, yours, right? Your fullness and your uniqueness and your beauty and your gifts. Okay? Don't try to be like anyone else. Don't try to, you know what I mean? You know what fulfills you. Go after that. Period. No excuses. All right. Thanks so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.